Hi. The government made some changes to our citizenship law in 2019. What did these changes do? Let's find out. By the way, if you haven't already watched the videos on statehood and citizenship on this channel, it might be useful to start there. You see, this concept of statehood and the related concept of the social contract define how countries deal with citizenship. All those concepts have been addressed in these earlier videos. You will find links in the description and they might have also popped up on your screen by now. Under Indian law, if you aren't an Indian citizen, you can enter India only if you have valid documents such as a passport and a visa. If you enter India without these documents, or if you stay in India for longer than your visa permits, you will be declared an illegal migrant and you could be imprisoned too. Beginning independence and across the decades since, various people from our neighboring states belonging to minority communities such as Hindus, Parsis, Buddhists, Sikhs, Christians, and Jains have fled to India on account of religious persecution. Some of these people don't have visas at all. But as per the Intelligence Bureau sometime in 2019, there are 31,313 such people who have fled to India to whom India has issued long-term visas. These people wanted citizenship of India. These people had legal problems in India. Those without visas were violating Indian law by staying in India, and those with visas didn't have citizenship and the rights that citizenship brings along with it. It isn't as if the government did not know that these people were here, or where they were, or why they came. It's just that a decision on what to do with these people was constantly being postponed. In a bureaucratic setup, decisions like this often create precedent. This means that if you do one thing for one group, another group makes demands too. Decisions of this kind also affect a large number of things like international relations. Governments are always balancing a variety of contradictory interests. Frankly, I'm just happy that I am not in government. So, governments tend to postpone decisions, in this case, by simply letting the people stay and watching how the situation evolved. But India had decided to take a decision. It therefore had to pick either let these people stay or expel them or ask them to leave. It thus had a policy decision to make. If the government expels these people, they would be in danger back in their home states. On the other hand, if the government let them stay, they would be entitled to the same pool of resources as Indian citizens, and in the future, other groups of refugees would make similar demands. The government ultimately made some changes to permit these people to stay in India. These changes were made in 2015 to the law relating to passports and visas. Therefore, though the stay of these people in India was no longer punishable, these people were still illegal migrants and could not become citizens of India. The only way to permit these people to become Indian citizens would be to amend the law relating to citizenship to permit them to shed their tag as illegal migrants, that is, to amend the Citizenship Act of 1955. A citizenship amendment bill on these issues was first introduced in the 16th Lok Sabha on the 19th of July 2016. That bill was then referred to a committee and came to be passed by the Lok Sabha on the 8th of January 2019. However, because of the general elections of May 2019, the 16th Lok Sabha dissolved, the bill lapsed, and it never became law. Therefore, the bill was introduced a second time in the 17th Lok Sabha on the 9th of December 2019. On the 10th of December, the Lok Sabha passed the bill, the Rajya Sabha passed it on the 11th of December, and the President granted his assent to the Act on the 12th of December. And therefore, the Citizenship Amendment Act became law. So, what did the Citizenship Amendment Act actually do? To permit these people to shed their tags as illegal migrants and to permit them to become citizens of India, the CAA amended the law of citizenship to change the definition of illegal migrant to exclude these people. What conditions must you fulfill, therefore, to fall within this group of people? First, you must be Hindu, Parsi, Buddhist, Jain, Sikh, or Christian. Second, you must have been a citizen of Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Afghanistan. Third, you must have entered India on or before the 31st of December 2014. And fourth, you must have benefited from the changes that the government made to the law to permit people to continue to stay in India without valid documents. Therefore, these 31,313 people would directly benefit from this. Let's say that you fulfill these conditions. That does not automatically make you a citizen of India. You still have to file an application for citizenship by naturalization. The CAA, however, did do a couple of things to make it easier for you to become a citizen. What were these things? One of the conditions for becoming a citizen of India by naturalization is that you must have resided in India for at least 11 out of the last 14 years. Now, many people in this group would not have fulfilled this criterion. Therefore, for people in this group, the Citizenship Act was amended to provide that instead of the 11-year requirement, the requirement will be 5 years. Therefore, it would suffice if people in this group were resident in India for a period of 5 out of the last 14 years instead of 11 out of the last 14. Second, if these people end up becoming Indian citizens, what if the government had already initiated legal action against them for illegal entry or stay? The CAA ensured that if these people become citizens, these proceedings would automatically end. Third, the CAA also ensured that people would not lose their right to become citizens simply because of such legal action. Fourth, the CAA also permitted people to become citizens from the day on which they entered India. In other words, the CAA conferred the rights of citizenship retrospectively. The CAA also made some other changes, such as changes concerning OCIs or overseas citizens of India. But we won't look at those today. So, does the CAA affect the status of any person who is already a citizen of India? No. Does the CAA affect the status of any Indian citizen belonging to a community not mentioned in it? No. Does the CAA make it harder for any refugee belonging to a community not mentioned in it to become an Indian citizen? No. Does the CAA draw lines of distinction between Indian citizens on the basis of religion? No. Does the CAA permit people to come to India who couldn't have come before? No. Does the CAA make it harder for anybody to become an Indian citizen? No. Does the CAA make it easier for some people to become an Indian citizen? Yes. Does the CAA provide easier means for some people to become Indian citizens on the basis of religion? Yes. Was the government right in permitting these people to become Indian citizens? Would the benefits of this law extend to anybody beyond these 31,313 people? Is the CAA overall a good thing or a bad thing? What motivated the government to take these measures? I leave all these questions to you. Thank you.